All right. Bam. There we are live. Folks, I'm fired up today. So stick with me. I have a message, hopefully an inspirational message. Hopefully I'm not beating you up. Hopefully it's an inspirational message. And I want to get this going as quick as I can. But let me go over this real quick. Hi, I'm Kurt Von Annen. I'm with Mañana No Mas. Today is the first day of February, and this is the Mañana No Mas morning check-in. I just got off a Zoom call with another individual, and great guy, great guy. Really fun, easy to talk to, all the way across, the country and up a little bit. But he hit on something in our conversation, and it got me fired up, because then I was thinking about other people I know in similar situations. And then I started thinking about, all this web work I do, and how, I try to mentor some people in their project development for like learning and membership websites. And so here's the theme, right? And let me tell you a little, there's that cough. Let me tell you a little story. I went to a writing club once. I went to a writing club once, and they started, so everyone gathers around the table, and they started with the guy right on my left, and they went that away around the table, which means I'm the last person, at this round robin introduction. And so it's going around the table, and we're introducing ourselves to each other, and people are like, hi, I'm Susie, I'm 28, and I've been wanting to write for 6 years. Hi, I'm Bob, I'm 52. And, I've written 7 books, but I haven't published any. They're all in first draft status, or they're all in, rewrite status, or whatever. At that table was a guy in his 80s. And now, so he wasn't like super big on technology, and this meeting was a while ago, but he takes this manuscript out and dumps this thing on the table. It's a giant, thick book, man. It's like War and Peace. And he goes, oh, I'm on my 3rd rewrite, and I'd really like to nail this down so I could get it published before I run out of time. This dude was in his 80s. And finally it comes around to me. There's like 12 people at this table. And so it comes around to me, and I'm like, I think I'm in the wrong room, with as much humility as possible. I'm just a content machine. I publish stuff all the time. I publish stuff for other companies. I help, different manufacturers in the power sports world draft their technical training documentation. We put out service manuals. So there's that technical writing aspect, but then I take a look at service writing in black and white. It came up in the conversation today, right? So I published this book originally in 2007, and then I did a reprint of it, a version, 2.0, to fix some grammatical errors. And you might look at that and go, oh my goodness, I would never put out a book that had grammatical errors. Well, it happens. And so originally, when I wrote this book in 2007, I didn't think the book was going to sell. It was a mental exercise. I just wanted to get stuff out of my head. And so when people started buying the book, and then people started sending me emails like, hey, thanks for what you wrote in chapter 3. I was like, I better reread that myself, because I'm not sure what I said in chapter 3. Oh, there goes the street cleaner. I thought he always came on Wednesdays. Today's Tuesday. All right. So anyway, I get that out of my head. I published the work. And then what do? I went back and I fixed it, because I was like, too many people are going to see this. This is not a good representation of the quality of work I'm capable of. And I went ahead, fixed it, and did a 2nd edition. Now, you might say, well, that's crazy, Kurt. And I'm going to tell you, and you've heard this before, done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. I believe that we got to get things done. The catchphrase from Mañana No Mas, right, is getting it done yesterday. And if you look at the asterisks, it really means something else, right? But getting it done yesterday. You cannot keep putting off till tomorrow what you can do today. So there are people that I run into in everyday life, in the mastermind calls that I host online, the online training that I do, when I'm consulting with a power sports dealer, and we're saying, hey, here's a process we want to put in place to drive efficiency at your business. And they go, well, I wanted to do that, but I wanted to paint these yellow lines first, or I wanted to hang a sign on the wall first, or I wanted to do, and these niggling ideas is just our way of procrastinating because we're afraid of failure. We're afraid that whatever this initiative is, whatever this mission is, whatever our calling is, we're afraid that we missed the mark. We're scared, and we're allowing the stress of this to impede our ability to find success. Let's go back to the original book. What did I say was the impetus for me to do the rewrite? It wasn't because I knew it was bad. It was because people were responding. People were giving me feedback from the original version. And that feedback in most, pardon me, the feedback in most cases was positive. Thanks for your message in chapter 3. This really resonated with me. Thank you for what you said about, dealerships being a sales-driven business and not necessarily focused on service. Thank you for, right? So they're thanking me for the message, but it's causing me to take a deeper look at the product and go, this could be better. This could be better. And you know what? When life aligns those vertical categories properly, I can go back in and I can find a gap in my time, and I can make that better, republish it, and have an even better product for future people. But when you're beating yourself up over perfection versus done, you're robbing people of your potential gift to them. I got to put that. I almost wonder if I got to rephrase that. It just kind of came out. But what you are selling or giving or offering to people, that is your gift to them. That's your calling. That is your gift. It is something that you're going to add value to them with. So if you keep procrastinating, you are pulling back from people the gift which you've been given to share. This is so important to me. I get so fired up about this. I don't want to say names and I don't want to be specific because this is public. But I personally know more than this many people where I talk to them on a routine basis and they have a project that's ready to go. It is ready to go. It is ready for prime time. Push the button, publish the work. Tell me if you're watching this right now and you know I have control of your project, tell me to publish the project. Make it public. Let people go see it. Let people enjoy what you've got to share. And you know what? Let the feedback dictate your priorities on finishing these things that steal your perfection. Here's the problem with perfection, especially in the internet space. It's never going to be perfect. Never. Right? Take a look at all these automation tools and all of these things. You know what they have? They have the ability to backfire. They have the ability to fail. They have the ability to let something fall through the cracks. People that, I can use my wife as an example of this. And I love my wife. I love her, love her, love her, love her, love her. Okay. But let's say there's a feature in the phone where she can put, we can restrict the kids' phones, right? So all of us have cell phones. There's 4 of us here, and 2 of us can control 2 of the phones. My wife will go in and she'll make an update or she'll make a change. She'll say, oh, well, I only want my son to have use of this app for 2 hours. And then she'll set that and then immediately go check his phone to see if it says, 2 hours or 4 hours. And then she comes back, she goes, well, I changed it to 2 hours and it doesn't work. This thing doesn't work. And give it time, let it refresh, let it propagate. It's got to go through the towers and however cell phones work. Not everything is flawless and instantaneous. So we have to extend grace to things. And as we're extending grace, why don't we just absorb a little success along the way? I have projects, quite honestly, that I launched prematurely. And I'll admit that because I am someone that says done is better than perfect. I have launched a few projects as minimal viable projects, proof of concepts that I want to see. Does this generate interest or not? Do people seem attracted to this idea or not? I had an idea 2 years ago about grouping people from podcasts into 2 very easily discernible groups. You have a group of people that have podcasts, and you have a group of people that want to contribute to podcasts. Now, in podcasting, for some reason, these two have a hard time finding each other. One of the hardest things for me when I started my podcast, right on this hand, one of the hardest things for me when I started my podcast was, boom, where do I find guests? Ta-da! So I thought, hey, if I build a website where potential guests can be in a group and podcast hosts can be in a group, right? That means that people that have podcasts, they can talk to people amongst themselves in their own group with private messaging about, the ups and downs of running a podcast. And then these folks over here can talk inside their group for, what's the best way you find to contribute to podcasts? What's your subject matter? How do you develop subject matter for your podcast? How do you blah, whatever, right? So they can have their conversations. But then there's a way for people in this group to see people in this group and make a connection based on what they've shared within this kind of like social intrasite kind of thing. I thought it was brilliant. You know what? Nobody liked it. Doesn't matter how brilliant the idea is. Doesn't matter, how cool and intricate the website was. I didn't build a community beforehand that was ready for that kind of product. I didn't build an awareness campaign properly to launch that product. And I launched it prematurely because without a community and without people to plug into it, it's if you're the first one to show up to a website like that and you register for it and you see that you're in a group of one, you're like, I don't even know if I want to be in this thing or not. I kind of feel that way, just being honest, about Getter, that GETTR thing. I signed into Getter probably a year ago. Seems like a year ago. Signed into Getter, started an account, blah, blah, blah. Nobody was in there. You know what I did? I closed it and I didn't go back to it for like 3 months. And then I saw that some other people had joined Getter. So I was, I'll go in and check it out now. I go in, I look at it, and I connect to a couple of people. I put up a couple of posts, but you know what? It's still not popping off the page to me. Folks, I make this stuff for a living, right? And then when I go to someone else's project that I know is in startup mode, I go, this still isn't really engaging for me. And so I'm out. I'll go back in a few more months and take another look at it. There was a bunch of them that came out. Like I think there was Vivo and Meme and a couple of others, right? This Getter one kind of floated to the top of the list. And so when I take a look at where people are at, and I take a look at, I don't care if it's writing, could be a novel, could be a technical work, could be a course, an online course, right? Could be a workbook, anything. Could be a song. How many musicians are sitting on a lyric or a melody and they're just sitting on it and they play it for themselves and they go, man, I really like that. I should do something with that. And then they don't do anything. They rob other people of the enjoyment from the creation of that music. I'm not trying to make you feel guilty. I'm trying to inspire you. Folks, done is better than perfect. I'm going to say it one more time. Done is better than perfect. And here's a bonus for you. Here's a bonus for you. If you listen to this message today and you are inspired in any way to publish, write, do, share, whatever that product is, put it in the comment section of wherever you see this video. This video is on YouTube. It's on the Mañana No Mas website. It is, I put the LinkedIn replay up on LinkedIn. And, wherever you see this video, put your thing there. Or if you've been sitting on an idea and you haven't done anything with it yet, let's say you don't want to share the idea. Let's say you're worried about, like what do they call that? A DV. I'm telling you, I got this COVID brain thing. I can't seem to remember anyone's name or like an acronym to something. DBA. No, that's doing business as. When you have a corporate secret and you don't want to share the corporate secret, don't share the corporate secret, but put a comment in that says, hey, Kurt, that was for me today. Thanks. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. That's your call to action today. Hey, Kurt, that message was for me today. Thanks. If you're sitting on anything, man, do it. Time is our biggest enemy. Time is our biggest enemy. We need to seize every moment that we can and be productive and be efficient. And when you're tired of being productive and efficient, then you know what? Then you need to love on somebody as much as you can with your downtime. Time is everything. It's all of it is run by time. And it's the one thing that, you know, we're all equal on. We all have 24 hours in a day. If you're sitting on an idea, if you're sitting on a product, if you're sitting on something and you find yourself making excuses to not pull the trigger, take the excuse away. Move forward. Let's say it's a product. Now I'm going crazy. Now I'm going crazy. Let's say it's a product, right? And you're sitting on this idea for a product and you're like, well, it's an idea for product and I know it would help a lot of people, but I don't even know how to get started. At the end of this video, go to your browser and type in getting started launching a product like, and put it in there. What do you need? Machining, R&D, marketing. Do you need a coal packer because it's a food product and you want to make sure that you can get it packaged properly? Do you need a commercial kitchen to rent? Do you need to get in touch with, you know, your local small business development center, SBDC, right? Do you need to get in touch with somebody? Today's the day. Do that today. Make the phone call, send the email, get in touch with somebody. But whatever the excuse was for not doing it, overcome that today and take that step. That's your call to action today. And you know what, folks, this was preachy today. I know it. I get it. You know, sometimes I come in here and I ramble on about almost what seems like nothing. And then some days I come in here fired up. But I just had that Zoom meeting with that gentleman and I got another meeting coming up in 14 minutes. So I got a lot of energy coming today from the people I'm talking to, the inspiration I'm getting from folks. And this is huge. You know, I'm putting out a book this quarter on communication and leadership, right? It's called Action Leadership from the Edge of the Circle. And folks, if I didn't kick myself in the butt when I felt like not doing anything, this book would never get done, would never get done. But I know that it's going to add value to so many people as they read it and hear the messages I do the public talks as a result of this book. So I know that it's important. So it's got to get done. And what you're sitting on is important and it's got to get done. Mañana no más. Getting it done yesterday. Folks, have a great day. I love y'all and I'll see you later in the week.